Hikaru, both the three first games are all standouts.
2 candidates.
Yeah.
And Hikaru smiling. He knows it's a preview for March, April 2026, where they'll be facing each other for
Cyprus.
Yeah, in Cyprus for a chance to meet Gukash. Esipenko qualifying from the World Cup, of course, got the bronze medal there, and Hikaru qualifying via rating.
Hikaru seems to really enjoy his color system these days, which is like when White puts the pawn on e3 early. He played it against me last week. I thought I had a good position at some point, but I ended up losing that game. And here it's almost a symmetry actually, but Black has the bishop on e7 instead of d6.
Just to summarize these 3 first games, because it was crazy here. Andrey Esipenko against Hikaru Nakamura, Magnus Carlsen against Anton Korobov, and MVL against Liam Le. That is quite the three first boards on just round number 3.
I know that Magnus...
round number 4.
I know that Magnus has a lot of respect for Anton Korobov. I remember I played against Korobov a few years ago in the World.Z tournament, and I asked Magnus what he thinks about him and like what I should focus on, and he said like he's very dangerous. So
he didn't give any actual advice. Just
no, he just said like, yeah, you just hope he has a bad day.
That is such a detrimental advice to get from your friend, because it's like he's saying, "Ooh, he's gonna blow you off the board here."
And actually, it happened. I got blown off the board, so not pleasant memories there. It's going to be an exciting game. I remember when Magnus won his. I don't know if it was his first World Blitz Championship in 2014 in Dubai. He beat Korobov in the last round.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about Esipenko's time management so far?
Yeah, it's okay. I would say it's not like it's not going to be terminal probably, because this is quite a tense position, and he has had to make some difficult decisions already. If these central pawns disappear and White doesn't generate anything here, I'm thinking maybe with the 2 bishops on the long diagonals, then it could just fizzle out towards becoming a symmetrical position. And yeah, the main thing is to survive now. White's knight is threatening to jump in, trapping this rook.
Curious to see what the evaluation is.
Hikaru is just very good at like slowly moving around, trying to just like keep some 20-30 seconds extra on the clock, and that will like play a big factor in the end. Like I've played so many games against him, and he just wants to like keep the tension. Very good at that. And here the rook gets to c4. Like Black has doubled on the d file, but there's no entry squares for a Black rook.
We finally got sound on Hikaru. I just warn you guys, it's a little bit out of sync, but let's listen in and see what he has to say. And while we're waiting for him to speak, look at this rating, 34-02.
Still probably kind of okay, but
Yeah, what a rating. What a player. Pre-candidates tournament. Going head to head.
Queen a8 is a nice move. Very typical in these positions. Like
it goes Queen a8
shattering the bishop and the queen. So like the point is like the knight cannot go to e5 now because the pawn on g2 would be hanging. So I like the way Esipenko has played this position. It's not that easy for White to improve their position either.
Yeah, Hikaru has ideas of swinging his rook across to go for a mating threat. Due to the fact these bishops are so strong, but it's not quite working yet. He doesn't want to commit to that plan. Possibly he's trying to figure out what happens if Black's knight comes into the center now. But it's just such a tense position, symmetrical almost, but so many pieces still on this board that tactics are in the air. And there we see Esipenko rocking back and forth as he tries to come up with a move. Now I'm starting to get worried about his clocks. Now I'm starting to think, okay, 45-second difference against Hikaru Nakamura when you're the one on the defensive could prove decisive.
He's an Arsenal fan. He's used to fighting back.
He needs that extra time.
Where do you go with a Black knight now? It's a bit tricky. He goes a6.
Ooh, counterattack.
Now you have to calculate a lot. Like you can take the knight, but Black takes on b5, which looks good for Black. So I think Hikaru is going to move the knight away.
I'm wondering how sharp Andrey Esipenko can be here, because I remember last week when he qualified for the candidates, he was asked what is he going to do to celebrate this win. And his answer was he's going to get drunk and he's going to stay drunk.
But he has had 1 week to recover from the hangover.
That's a long session. 1 week. Probably he's had a little bit of time.
Right now, though, Hikaru is wasting his time advantage.
And wow, big decision from Hikaru to give up one of his bishops there. This must be connected with a very forcing variation, but maybe a miscalculation. And look at Andrey Esipenko's eyes widen.
I think he wants c6 here. Bishop takes c6, queen c2. But I think after c6, black can just take the white rook. He doesn't have to take back the pawn.
Ooh.
Is that maybe what he has missed?
If eyes could say, what was that move? I think Esipenko just showed that.
It's not a good sign when you sacrifice something and you think on the next move. Usually you have your follow-up ready. Goes rook f4 now. Doesn't look too thrilled, Hikaru. Like, so now you have to be careful with black, because if you take back the pawn on c5, queen c2 is actually a devastating threat where you can't defend against the mating threat without dropping the bishop on f6.
Have you guys noticed how we don't really need an Evo bar if Esipenko is playing? It's the further forward he is in his chair, the better his position is.
Exactly, and he senses that there's something here. There's a way for black to defend. It is difficult, as Arian says, just psychologically, because it does look like white's kind of going all in on the king side right now. But if he's calm, if he finds a way, without spending too much more time, he should be able to emerge with a healthy position. And no, it looks like a big blunder from Andrey Esipenko. What is the killer blow?
I think I thought about that move, but I thought it doesn't work because of knight takes e5.
Let's hear what Hikaru has to say about that.
Wait, what? King h8, queen h. King h8, bishop f5, rook g8, queen h5, rook g7, g2. There should be a way to be winning here, I feel like.
Oh.
Intuition is pretty good with these top GMs, isn't it?
Yeah, he knows, he senses it, he smells it. I think he was talking about variations starting with rook takes bishop, because then he wanted to move his knight out of the way and get a queen check, or bring the queen to h5. The end goal is to land the queen on this square, on h7.
Yeah, maybe take on f6 and knight h4 is what he wants to do. But then maybe you can play bishop e4 with black.
He better get this right, considering how much time he's spending.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's also ideas of, oh, there we go. Either moving the knight to the edge of the board, maybe taking this pawn. There we go. He does take it just to get a queen check. And that would also pick up the rook in a lot of variations.
Very accurately executed by Hikaru. Yeah, this actually seems to just win for white. Like if you take back the knight, you're just going to check on g4 and take the rook. And black is not in time to eliminate the pawn on g2 because of some queen f5 there in the end.
Yeah. Extremely complicated with Magnus and Korobov as well. It's jumping up and down on the evaluation bars. Right now it looks like Magnus is taking a bit of an initiative in that game.
Yeah, and we'll see that variation that Arian mentioned here. The whole variation plays out, and white's queen and bishop, the battery along this diagonal is just decisive. No good way to block. Stop the checkmate threat. If the black pawn had stepped forward, then the bishop would have been no longer protected. So here, does Hikaru have more than a draw? That is the question. He can keep checking with his queen. And he was looking at this. You've got to be careful. If the king goes back, you do not want to come and grab this bishop, because the black rook would come and skewer the queen and king. But he just happily moves his rook. Looks very happy, Hikaru. What has he seen? He grabs a pawn.
Must be winning. Isn't this just checkmate? Yeah, it's just checkmate.
And I mean, I'm having pretty good timing it when I'm pulling up Hikaru right now, because he said exactly what you're saying, and we see the withdrawal and we see the win here from